Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Word in Season. This is the first edition of 2023, so I hope that everyone had an amazing Christmas. I want to share with you guys from my devotion just yesterday. I'm going through New Morning Mercies by Paul David Tripp, which is fantastic, by the way. And he always starts out with the tagline, which kind of summarizes the devotion, and then he unpacks it before he sends you away for further study. And this tagline yesterday was, "Fear is God forgetful." It's one of those statements that makes you sit back and think because it's challenging. Is that true? Am I not factoring God in as I struggle with fear and anxiety? I wouldn't class myself as a particularly fearful person. I'm generally pretty laid back, but I thought back to when my son was born, and he was preemie. He was born at 28.5 weeks, so like 12 weeks early, and it was touch and go. It really was. And I think it's fair to say that me and my wife grappled with some fear and anxiety on that journey, but we also had a genuine sense of peace. And when I think back as to why that is, it's because God was so clearly there. He'd already done some amazing things. I mean, we weren't supposed to get pregnant in the first place. I remember saying to Anna, why would God bring us this far and do all the incredible things that He's already done, just to abandon us now? I don't think He's going to do that. I think He's in this. And that gave us a sense of hope, a genuine sense of peace. Now that's me coming at it from the opposite end of the equation, but I think it brings me to the same conclusion. Remembering the goodness of God, the presence of God, and the power of God supplanted my fear with peace and hope. For the believer, is fear God forgetful? Yeah, in a way, I think it is. And that could come across really judgmental. And I'd say, please don't take it that way. I don't think that we should lie to ourselves and pretend like we're not afraid when really we are. And I'm not sure that we'll ever reach a place in this life where fear has no hold on us. But I do know that factoring God in completely changes the equation. And it makes the impossible possible. It brings hope where there is none, and redeems things that otherwise would never be redeemed. Things like suffering and hardship. So if fear is all you have, maybe this is for you. It could just be that as you analyze your circumstances, you've forgotten to factor God in. You've forgotten that He's with you, that He loves you, and He's always working for your best. I think we see that remembering, that reminder in action in 2 Chronicles chapter 32. Just to give you a bit of context, the people of Israel besieged by the Assyrians. They were outnumbered and outgunned. But then Hezekiah, who was the king at the time, turns to the people and says this. He says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged because the king of Assyria or his mighty army. For there is a power far greater on our side. And he may have a great army, but they are merely men. We have the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles for us." And the message says that Hezekiah's words put steel in their spines. And I think that's exactly what Paul David Tripp is talking about in action. So if you're grappling with fear, if it's got a hold on you, remember that God is with you. And the cross says that without a shadow of a doubt, He is for you, always working for your best. Remember that and find hope and peace. Be blessed.